In a time when the British East India Company was tightening its grip on India, especially across Tamilnadu, one queen decided enough was enough. This wasn't just any queen, this was Velu Nachiyar, the lioness of Shivaganga, a ruler who wasn't just a queen but a force of nature. The year was 1780. The British had seized her kingdom Shivaganga in Tamil Nadu and had killed her husband after a treacherous betrayal, leaving her to flee with her daughter into exile with a handful of her servants. This period of exile lasted about 8 years, but Queen Velu Nachiyar wasn't the kind to sit in idle. During this time, she meticulously strategized her return to power. Every step she took was a calculated move, a game of chess where the British didn't realize they were already cornered. During this time, Velu Nachiyar trained herself in various combat techniques and developed a loyal following. She formed a military force that included women soldiers and gave extensive training to them. Word spread of her rallying the people. More and more people, both men and women, joined her to fight side by side. Velu Nachiyar didn't just raise an army, she revolutionized people's desire into a fight for freedom. But even then, she wasn't ready to charge blindly into the battle. She was indeed a warrior, but she was a strategist too. She sought alliances with nearby kingdoms, and through this alliance, she secured weapons and warriors. But these weren't just greatest weapons, but her greatest weapon was a fearless commander named Kuyili, who was as cunning as she was brave. On more than one occasion, Kuyili had risked her life to save Velu Nachiyar's. Once, during a surprise ambush, Kuyili threw herself into the fray, shielding the queen with her own body and fighting off attackers. Her bravery wasn't just an act of duty, it was a declaration of unyielding loyalty to the queen and her cause. Together, they planned a mission that would go down in history as the bravest. The British had already fortified themselves in Shivaganga, confident that no one could touch them. Meanwhile, Velu Nachiyar and Kuyili had devised a bold, nearly impossible plan to infiltrate the British Armory right under the watchdog eyes of the British. But they had only one day to accomplish this mission. And as fate would have it, Shivaganga was getting ready for Vijayadashami, the festival of triumph, and the temple of Raja Rajeshwari Amman drew throngs of women from across the region for the festival, a tradition the British viewed as insignificant. And Velu Nachiyar knew that British wouldn't be expecting a festival crowd to be anything more than harmless pilgrims. Kuyili gathered a group of women and disguised themselves as devotees. Hiding their weapons under their flower and fruit baskets, they walked unsuspected into the fort, right under the watchful eyes of the British guards. They positioned themselves strategically, and when the moment was right, they struck. The guards were caught completely off guard. Chaos erupted within the fort as British soldiers scrambled to defend themselves against an assault they had never seen coming. Amid the confusion, Kuyili moved with singular purpose towards the armory. And as the chaos enraged within the Shivaganga fort, Kuyili and her army entered the armory. But the armory, brimming with ammunition, was both a fortress and a death trap. Destroying it would deal a crushing blow to the British troops, but the act would require an unfathomable price to be paid by Kuyili. And upon her command, her loyal companions rushed to her aid, carrying pots of ghee and oil meant for temple lamps. They poured the liquids over Kuyili, soaking her from head to toe. Soaking in oil, Kuyili walked toward the armory chambers, carrying a torch. As Kuyili stepped into the heart of the armory, she set herself on fire, and the fire she ignited spread through the armory. The explosion that followed wasn't just the destruction of British ammunition. It was a signal to every fighter in Shivaganga that their queen's plan had succeeded. The explosion threw the British forces into disarray. Their power shattered into a single blazing moment. Amidst the clueless British army in their desperation to find any weapon, Queen Velu Nachiyar rallied her army to strike the final blow. And it was no longer a battle, it was a reckoning. And in an attack that was built upon warrior women's ultimate sacrifice, the British forces were defeated. The fort was reclaimed, and Shivaganga was restored to its rightful ruler. And Velu Nachiyar ruled the kingdom for over a decade till her death in 1796.